So just a quick one on the prompts. Now, there's obviously a sequence. This is kind of what I would do manually, and I'm constantly improving this, constantly thinking this is going to maybe change in a month or so, but I feel after doing this a few times and just again and again and again and thinking about it and refining it and just looking at my hard drives over the last 14 years and all these courses and stuff I learned and like my own epiphanies and breakthroughs in my journey, this is what I've tried to inject into the prompts. And that's why it's going to make our life so easy to just onboard clients, because I would say it's not as simple as copy and paste. You do require to do a bit of thinking. You got to know how marketing works in general. But ultimately, when you start any funnel, it's always like, okay, who are we going for? Who is the avatar? And I'm putting out big air quotes. Avatar, persona, ICP. Like there's different names for it. You get it. So that's what I usually start off with. And when I start this off, and you're going to see this in the case studies, this is not an in-depth training video on each prompt. I don't think we need that, to be honest. In fact, this training is going to be more of a base. And then once we get on, what I plan to do is once we build this out, I'll actually get onto a one-on-one Zoom call with you, and we'll build out live. That way I can get more questions, stuff like that. As you know, these things get built over time. As much as I want to create the perfect course that never needs to be re-recorded ever again, that's just not possible. That's just impossible, literally, as I've learned on this journey, no matter how much of a perfectionist I am. So this is the first stab at it, and then it's going to just improve. So first prompt, what I like to do is the free test. I like little things I would normally ask clients, if they had to work with someone for free, which I actually think about. If I had to work with someone for free, and who would I really enjoy working with? Who would I enjoy working with so much that I'll actually do the work for free? And I've done this a few times in my journey. So that's kind of a good test, because we're not just here to make money. Like, yeah, we are, but I'm here to enjoy my damn journey, especially this stage of my life. So maybe if you're hungry and you're a hustler, like that hustle mentality has long left me. But if you're still there, good for you. Go test a bunch of stuff out. But for me, it's like I only want to work with people I actually like working with. And that includes clients, no matter how much they pay you. So tasks, it basically answers this question. So what I do here is that maybe I'll drop the sales call in. I'll drop in any docs they have, any Google Docs, transcripts, any shit basically. Like I don't need to read it. Before, when you do this manually, before AI, you had to manually read stuff. I had to go on forums, be like, okay, what is the pain point of this industry? Okay, what like I tried to get into the mind of a prospect through just actual research. Like if you're a copywriter, long. This way, we can just dump a bunch of shit which is related to the client, to the offer. Because if a client's been in business for a while, which they are, we don't start with anyone who's new, they already have all this stuff. They already have all this shit. They have testimonials. They have this stuff. They have webinars. They have PSLs. We could just dump all that stuff in there, and that serves the rest of the flow. So we do that. It answers questions. I put this in recently of like keeping it nice and like organized, and Claude can follow along. I use Claude. I use GPT, and GPT copy sucks. All of this is about copy. 90% is about copy. Is the messaging, is the ideas, is the words on the page. It's not about the fucking design, although that helps, of course. It's all about the messaging. So GPT is shit at copy. Claude, a whole other level. When I started using Claude, things went off. Like when I started doing prompts, GPT 3.5 was okay. I remember I wasn't really into prompting then. Very basic stuff, like a few lines and stuff. Then 4.0 came around. I remember that was a big significant jump. And then GPT-5 came out. I remember my prompts went to a whole other level, but it still fucked stuff up. And then I moved to Claude finally after my friend was like, just try Claude. The copy's so good, you don't even have to tweak it. I'm like, okay, I'll try Claude. And it's so much better. So just use Claude, basically, is the moral of the story. Just use Claude. It's a lot better than GPT. I've tried Grok, I've tried all that, but Grok is so good for copy, which is the whole point of this fucking project. And it just follows stuff around, follows stuff better. And I love the side panel as well, which you will see. So once we do this, Claude's going to give a bunch of stuff backwards, just output a bunch of stuff. And we're going to go straight into this usually, unless there's a bit of back and forth. It might ask a few questions, but then I go to the offer. Okay, we have this pool of people, or what do we sell them? What is the dream offer? What are they looking for? What is hot right now? That's stuff we've got to figure out here. But there's not so much about the offer. And especially this comes to bridge pages in general. The bridge page is not a sales page. It is not a sales page. It's a pre-sale page. So the psychology is a bit different. Okay, if you ran any Facebook ads or any ads back in the day, there was always a pre-sale page to the offer. This is not a new concept, to be honest, but I've spent a long time writing pre-sale copy, and that's why this makes so much sense to me. But you don't just sell the product. You don't go into sales pitch mode. You don't write like a headline and like bullet points and direct response marketing. It's all about what is the unique mechanism. Like in my case, which I finally clocked this week, was my thing is the bridge pages, is the hyper-personalized bridge pages. That is our big thing. That is our Trojan horse. That is our unique mechanism. Yeah, there's other stuff around it. But if I have one thing to convey, which is what the bridge page does, it conveys one core idea. Just like Russell Brunson's webinar, he had the one thing. There's always the one thing, and then there's multiple. Actually, perfect webinar formula. Let me pull this up for context, actually, if you guys haven't noticed. But there's always the one thing. Every presentation, every sales letter has the one thing. But yes, it has different things which are designed to break the false beliefs. Oh, I don't believe this vehicle will work for me. I don't believe this opportunity will work for me. Break that false belief. Oh, this is all good. I understand it, but it won't work for me specifically because of this and this. You have to break that false belief. Oh, I get it now. It might work for me, but you know what? It won't work because of some external factor. Oh, my husband, or this, or my situation, or I've got a 9 to 5. So you got to break that belief, and all of this support the one thing. That's in a nutshell how pre-selling is done, or selling in general if it's a webinar. And it's the same methodology, but with prompts you got to discover it. So what I have and what you'll see in the kind of case studies and obviously your own builds is we've got to figure out that Trojan horse. And Trojan horse is just a name I put for like everything, because there's a mixture of everything. It's the unique mechanism, it's the idea, it's the proof, it's like the story behind it. We got to figure what that is, and that becomes the bridge page. So I've got this core thing here, which AI basically finds it out from all this stuff we do here and scores it to give us an idea. For some people, it'll be a mechanism like us. For some people, like the gold mine, and you'll see is they just have a very particular thing that they do that stands out above everybody else. So they have like a super crazy guarantee where, like, you know, if everything blows up and the mine blows up, like the investors still paid back because there's like a bunch of stuff they do and a bunch of whatever they call it, fancy language. I don't know, to be honest. I've never been in gold, but we'll cover that in the case study. So it could be like a way of doing things that no one else has done, but it answers the number one question: why is this so different? I've seen 100 of these things. I've seen 100 of these SaaS products. I've seen this promise. Why is yours different? Why should I spend time checking out your thing? Why should I even bother creating a free trial? Just because it's free, you still have to sell the free. Make sense? So these ones, when they have like a little dash and they're like nested in here, it's usually like from some testing to like validate stuff, or maybe like a different alternative to this so we can test this. Because, you know, you're here to help me test this shit, by the way. This works. If we never change anything, we'll make money. This will do well. Clients will be happy. But I don't just stop at, oh, that's it now. Let me just slap my hands and kick up my feet. No, I'm always pushing the limits. I want to innovate on fucking everything. I want to learn as much as possible. So that is why we're doing this. The old way, as you see in some cases, I believe, yeah, actually the SaaS one and the coaching one, I would just land on a Google Bridge page. So I was like, okay, great, we have this copy. Let's just stick into a Google Doc, which was the thing back in the day. Still is, to be honest. And that was good. But the issue is you can only really speak to one avatar, really, about one big idea. So I was like, this is good, but it's a bit too stiff. It's a bit too static, especially when you're doing like cold DMing, where it's kind of a range of people, because the GPT is really good at just like picking up most people and doing its thing. But we can't just send it to like a static page. So I was like, okay, great. So we'll have multiple bridge pages, one for each avatar or one for each big idea. That's a good idea. And then I was like, okay, what if I take this one level further? And that's when I started playing with Lovable and Replit. And there's other tools as well, but I like Lovable. Replit's really cool as well. It just takes a bit too long to build a page, in my opinion. Plus, I love the free credits on Lovable. I'm a sucker for free as well. So Lovable was the thing, and I was like, wait a minute, why don't I just create a crazy fucking prompt where we can take all of this shit, we can take all this, we can take the stuff and put it into a Lovable page, which is what I did for myself, And then, of course, with everything I test for myself, I reverse engineer it. It takes more time, of course, but I reverse engineer it so I can stick into the sequence, and then we can hand it off to the clients. So this here, I've tested a few times. It works pretty well. It works super well for the gold one. So I think this is more or less the template to go off. It kind of takes all this shit and then puts it into a universal sales page or bridge page copy with like if else statements, and if this avatar is this, or okay, if it's a SaaS company, if it's an agency, if it's a consultant, it has a bunch of like if else statements and stuff like that. So then we can take it, run it through an automation or run it through GPT. I used to do this manually before I had any automation. And then that AI or that LLM will be smart enough to read the profile of LinkedIn or a website and then adapt this prompt to spit out a final prompt that we can then put into Lovable. Right? Hopefully you're still with me here. Get it? Which is epic. Okay, then we can take that automation. Once it's tested, once we have the master prompt, as I'll show you for some of these case studies, it's very easy because then we just hard code certain things, or we put images in, or we put videos in. We put like stuff not to say. We put tell it what to say. The usual AI bullshit to make sure it's behaving properly, and that becomes the master prompt. That client can then use that again and again for any fucking prospect, and it can mimic the avatar. It can mimic their offer. It can put math in it. Like that's just epic to me. Super epic. And there's many use cases I've told you about. So one for me, of course, giving away lead magnet, which is the GPT to get book calls. One idea I heard is for startups, using this to find investors for their investment money for their startup. That's one option for these pages. There's obviously the goldmine aspect to find investors. There's, just finding SaaS customers or SaaS leads. They could be for collaborations. It could be used to get affiliates. It could be used for your Upwork profile to take someone's project and their post and their website or whatever they have and then create a custom funnel for that offer and that page and that potential client to stand out. Like there's so many use cases to this, right? It's not just like, SaaS. As I mentioned in my original video, that's one option because it's just the easy option. But I want to go fucking crazy with this. I want to see how many industries we can apply it to. So I tried this one, which is dynamic. I'll get to this stuff later. There's like a 2-part funnel. First one creates the copy patterns, then I feed it into like step 2, which is like the first just trains the avatar, and the other one just puts into like a master mega prompt, which is here. So I'm playing with this stuff. We're going to break it and test it. But as we're working backwards, so we've got the offer, the big idea. Okay, what is the whole messaging of the entire funnel? Cool, we got that down. Okay, let's put it into a page so the prospect can read it. Okay, let's put it into a dynamic page. Right, we got that page. Now, how do we position that page? Do we just send out a link? No. Obviously, there's a bit of psychology and question in the DMs themselves. When I send the page out, I don't just go like, hey, here's my link. It's like, hey, here's benefit. Hey, do you want to save, do you want to cut your sales calls down by 50% and get pre-qualified leads? Then click here. This is how you can do it in 60 seconds. Like, there's some kind of thing to sell the click. People seem to forget that you still got to sell the click in the DM, in the email, in the ad. You don't just put a link in. You just have to sell the click. I really emphasize that part, which is what these DMs do. Well, I spent so freaking long figuring out the psychology behind it, making sure it doesn't sound like AI. And these 2 prompts just take all the shit we have. The way I figured out finally, because this had all the stuff baked in and it kept messing up, it kept leaving some of my stuff in. To be honest, I think it was GPT's issue. If I used Claude, it probably would have done a good job. But I split this in 2 parts because it takes all this shit we have here and puts into like a kernel file I call, which is a context kernel, which dumps all the stuff we've covered into a kernel. And then that just gets fed into this master prompt. So this never changes. This is like the same prompt for everybody. But I just figured out, okay, if I just take my master prompt with like no customization and I just stick in the kernel file of whatever the offer is, whatever the client is, whatever bridge page it is, because the way this works is it knows what the bridge page is. This GPT, once it's fully created, not the free one, the free one is just trained on their LinkedIn profile. This one has all of the context here. It knows the avatar, it knows the offer, it knows the bridge page, it knows where the prospect is heading, it knows where we're trying to get them to. Right, it's like a real human. Okay, I'm trying to get this person to buy. Okay, what questions do I need to go through? What process do I need to go to? We don't just skip to the fucking end. Here's a link. So AI knows where it's trying to get the person, which is point B, but point A is of course the first DM. So over like 1, 2, or 3 or 4 DMs, I did 4 before, but now I put it down to 2, because like, hey, there's the opportunity. Do you want to learn about it? Do you want to see it? And if they say yes, then I send them a page, which sells the click. That's really as simple as it can be in the perfect world. So that's what it does. All right, that's why it's so powerful. It's not just a chat bot like, oh, here's a profile. Scan this profile, write me a message. That's the most basic version. But this version actually knows what it's trying to do, and then has a bunch of stuff not to say, which gives away if it's AI and a bunch of psychology. So you get the idea. Okay, these are the main prompts. What I'm doing here, and I might show a video later, is I have like, and I'm debating to add this video, but I know this is what I really want, is to take all the courses online, or the mega courses which I have available to me, and start creating prompts, start creating video prompts, content prompts, reel prompts, teleprompter prompts, Telegram automations, content stuff. Because once this is fed, we can do whatever the fuck we want for that client. This is the hardest part of any funnel build out. It's always this shit. This took the longest by far. But once we nail this front end part, the rest is easy. Because we can create content on this, we can create the content on a big idea, we can create reels on it, we can create emails, we can turn this to a webinar, which is actually a case study I have. I followed the same process to create a webinar for a healing client. So that was fun. You can, it's rinse and repeat, because it's all about messaging. Every funnel is about the fucking messaging. Hopefully you got that point. But then we can take it crazy. We can make voice agents, lead finders, SOPs if they want to give it off to their team member. I want this library to expand by like a 10-fold, 100-fold of any cool stuff. It could be LinkedIn stuff, it could be other automations, where we give them 100 connections, which is something I discussed with someone, of Ahmed, where we can give them 100 connections based on their ICP from here, already scraped, thanks to like Apollo, Apify, and then we can give them. But that's now a trial. So if they like that, they can now buy into another service. So for the developers watching this, when you go through this, think of, hey, what can we automate? What other services can we branch out and create? Or what other clients can we refer for a commission, which will be our own clients, maybe, wink, wink, which we'll get a commission of. This is what I mean by the syndicate. It's not just us working together. It's once we have 100 offers or 10 offers or 20, which we're getting equity in, we can now promote that business and get a cut. So that client that comes in, or that lead that comes in from cold email or cold DM, can be monetized in multiple ways. Because we're building affiliate programs for people, realistically. We're taking everything I did back 12 years ago, where we ran affiliate competitions, and we're creating our own affiliate programs. Cool? Is that exciting? Hopefully, if you're still with me. If not, just playing people to find this exciting. So if you're still with me, let's check this out. Let's go to the next fucking level. With the prompts, I'm seeing what else I'm missing. Actually, you know what? Since I'm feeling ballsy, I might just show you the backdoor access thing of like all these courses and stuff I have. It might piss a few people off. Like, oh well. And then I'm showing you the vision of how we can take this to other levels. Since I'm already here, I'm going to show you what I want to do with this, how I want to create a prompt library. Because you're going to see how I created prompts. You're going to see how I took like a course or whatever, for example, a SaaS design agency framework, and put it into a prompt. That means we can copy and paste any SaaS agency landing page, and it can rewrite the copy, and it can redesign the sales page to like a brand new SaaS modern look. And that's just one little branch, one little offer. It'll make a lot more sense when I maybe put in the case study as a bonus. So, but for this prompt stuff, let me jump to the next video quickly, which wasn't planned, and I'll show you what I'm talking about.